The true nature of the emotion we call regret is a door through which the soul moves to its next stage. The signal from the universe hidden inside the pain of the past, as told by Tesla. Please listen carefully. The belief you have held until now, the belief that regret is a poison of the heart, comes to a complete end here. Regret is not an emotion meant to bind you. It is not a punishment. It is not a sin. It is the most precise door the universe has prepared for your soul to move on to its next stage. This is not hope. This is the physical law of the universe itself. Each time they feel regret, many people secretly think this: if only I had done it that way back then. If only I had not done that back then. I should have been able to walk a very different life. And this thought tightens around the chest before sleep at night, and presses down heavily the moment they wake in the morning. But there is something I must tell you clearly. The fact that you feel regret right now is not proof that you have failed. Rather, it is unshakable proof of something else. It is proof that your soul has already risen to a place far higher than the you of the past. When a person stays at the same viewpoint as before, they cannot look back on their past at all. The fact that you can feel regret means you are now standing in a position where you can look down upon the you of the past. The amount of regret you feel is the very measure of how far your soul has risen. In this video, I will completely uncover the true nature of regret. I will explain why the people whose soul level rises the most are the ones who feel regret the most deeply. I will explain why regret increases its pain as time passes, and I will gently explain how to turn that pain into the energy of the universe. If, right now, you keep replaying a past choice over and over inside your heart, please stay with this until the very end. By the time you finish listening today, the regret within you will no longer be a heavy chain. It will have changed into the most important key, a key that leads to your next life. Chapter 1. Regret is not a punishment. It is a signal of dimensional shift sent out by the soul. First, let me tell you the most important truth. The emotion we call regret does not exist in order to make you suffer. From the perspective of the universe, regret is the most precise signal your soul sends out in the moment it is shifting from an old dimension to a new dimension. Let me speak a little about physics. When matter changes from one state to another, a large amount of energy is always released. The moment ice turns into water, the moment water turns into vapor. In these moments, an invisible release of energy is taking place. The human soul is exactly the same. When your soul moves from one dimension to the next, the energy that was stored in the past is released all at once. And in the world of emotion, that energy of release appears in the form of regret. Regret is like the heat that always accompanies the soul as it steps up to a higher stage. It is a byproduct. Here is something that 99% of people misunderstand. They come to believe that the depth of their regret is the weight of their sin. But the truth is the opposite. The depth of regret simply shows how high your soul has risen. It shows the size of that rise. Nothing more. Think of it like a mountain climber who has let go of an old map. At the foot of the mountain, the map of the foothills was enough. But the moment you began to climb toward the summit, that old map became useless. Regret is the weight in your hand as you try to let go of the old map. So please feel at ease. In the moment you feel regret, you are not stagnant. You are, right now, in the middle of experiencing the largest dimensional movement of your entire life. Chapter 2. The 5 traits of regret that appear in people whose soul level is rising. Regret has deeper stages that you have not yet noticed. Let me clearly tell you the 5 traits of regret that appear only in people whose soul level is rising rapidly. The first trait. Lately, you suddenly begin to remember events from many years ago. This is the first sign that the dimensional shift of the soul has begun. Memories from 10 years ago, from 20 years ago, sometimes even from childhood, come back to you suddenly, with no warning. This does not mean your memory is breaking. It is proof that you are trying to reintegrate the undigested energy of the past. in this very moment. The second trait, the target of your regret changes from events to the way you chose your emotions. At a low soul level, a person regrets events. They think, I should not have chosen that job. But when the rise begins, the regret changes. I should have been able to be kinder back then. I should have trusted myself more back then. You begin to notice the very way you made choices on the inside. The third trait. After regret, there is a moment when a deep stillness suddenly arrives. After the violent wave of regret pulls back, a moment arrives when your heart becomes strangely quiet, like the surface of the sea after a storm. This stillness is the very signal that your soul has fully landed in a new dimension. The fourth trait. You become able to wish, from the bottom of your heart, for the happiness of a person you once hurt. A person who once made your chest ache, you can now, strangely, purely wish for their happiness. This is proof that your soul has completely let go of the frequency of guilt. The fifth trait. A strange feeling of gratitude begins to mix into your regret. Because that pain was there, the person I am now exists. Because that choice was made, I became able to notice what truly matters. If even a small amount of gratitude has begun to sprout within your regret, it is proof that your soul has come to the very edge of completely reconciling with the past. Among these 5 signs, are there any that have already begun to happen to you? If even one of them has begun, then your dimensional shift is already moving quietly toward completion. Chapter 3. Why regret deepens with time. The workings of quantum memory. Let me speak about a strange phenomenon that many people carry. It is the phenomenon that regret, instead of fading as time passes, somehow deepens. Normally, emotions should weaken as time goes by. Anger and sadness, too, after several years, lose the vividness they once had. But regret alone is different. After 10 years, after 20 years, one day, it can suddenly come back as a pain far more intense than it was at the time. The workings of quantum memory are involved in this. In the world of quantum physics, a past event is not thought of as a single fixed point. It is thought to keep being rewritten, each time, according to the state of the observer's consciousness. Each time you remember the past, that memory is being newly redrawn to match your current frequency. The more your soul level rises, the more you become able to see the same past event from a higher viewpoint. The meaning of the other person's expression that the you of that time could not see. Your own true feelings that the you of that time could not notice. All of this becomes clearly visible to the risen you. So regret deepens. But this is not because you are bound by the past. It is because your viewpoint keeps rising, high, far beyond the you of the past. Let us think of this as a spiral staircase. As you climb the staircase, when you look down, you can see the same scenery more widely and in greater detail. But the essence of the scenery has not changed. What has changed is only your viewpoint. So please do not fear that regret deepens. It is proof that you are not falling, but climbing. When you reach the top of the spiral staircase, you will realize something. You will realize that all of those past events were a path the universe prepared to bring you all the way here. Chapter 4. Turning regret into poison. The 4 traps that 99% of people fall into. Regret, when handled the wrong way, truly does become a poison that makes you suffer for a long time. Let me clearly point out the 4 traps that 99% of people fall into without realizing. The first trap is to blame yourself further for feeling regret. Why am I remembering the same thing again? How long will I stay trapped by this? In this way, you pile self-hatred on top of regret. This is the same as crushing, with your own hand, the healing signal your soul has sent. The second trap is to try to make the past into something that never happened. Let me forget that. Let me try not to think about it anymore. You force a lid onto it. But from the perspective of the universe, a past with a lid forced onto it does not disappear. It sinks underground, and it begins to control your life in a more distorted form. The third trap is to keep judging the you of that time within yourself. You seat the you of the past in the chair of the accused, and the you of the present, as a judge, keeps delivering a verdict for all eternity. But the truth is this: the you of that time was simply choosing the best option, with the greatest wisdom the you of that time possessed. The fourth trap is to keep pushing yourself desperately in the present, trying to make up for the past. To atone for that time, you set yourself an impossible goal, and you keep running without allowing yourself to rest. At a glance, this looks like admirable behavior, but from the perspective of the universe, it is behavior broadcast from the low vibration of guilt, and as a result, it pulls you back into the same pattern again. So what should you do? The answer is one thing. Let the regret simply be there, as it is. Do not deny it. Do not try to solve it. Simply, quietly acknowledge the fact that this emotion exists, here and now. That alone is enough for regret to begin changing its form, from poison into a pure signal. Chapter 5. The 3 rituals that turn regret into fuel for the soul. From here, let me share 3 rituals for turning regret into fuel for the soul. These require no special ability and no difficult meditation. They are methods anyone can practice, starting today. The first ritual. In the moment regret rises, place your hand on your chest and speak these words. The me of that time was choosing the best that the me of that time could choose. That is all. There is no need to forgive. There is no need to forget. There is no need to reconcile. Simply, quietly acknowledge the fact that the you of that time did your best with the wisdom of that time. With this one sentence, the sharpness of regret will surely begin to soften. The second ritual. From the event that became the target of your regret, write down on paper the gifts that you received. Even within the most painful event, there is always something that was given to you. Becoming able to understand the pain of others, learning the true meaning of kindness, coming to understand your own limits. By writing these down, the very meaning of the event is rewritten. This is not a falsification of the past. It is that you have, only now, finally discovered the true meaning. The third ritual. At the end of each day, speak these words within your heart. The me of today is the future me that the past me wished for. This is a ritual for reconstructing the flow of time from the perspective of the universe. The very fact that you are living here, in this place, is the future that the suffering you of the past desperately wished for. Each time you speak this one sentence, your past and your present begin to connect with one gentle thread. When that thread is complete, regret is no longer poison. It is changed into pure driving force. Chapter 6. The 3 changes in life that happen to a person who has moved beyond regret. For a person who has become able to receive regret not as a punishment, but as a sign of the soul's rise, 3 great changes will surely arrive in life. The first change. You become able to stand deeply in this present moment. A person who has kept swaying between regret toward the past and anxiety toward the future will, from a certain day onward, become able to stand firmly in this present moment. The past is no longer a source of pain. It is changed into the foundation that made the you of now. The future is no longer an object of anxiety. It is changed into a door that simply, quietly, opens. You begin to understand the true richness of being here, now. The second change. A deep compassion is born toward the mistakes of others. Strangely, a person who is fully reconciled with their own regret naturally becomes generous toward the mistakes of others as well. This is because they can now understand, from the bottom of their heart, that the other person, too, was doing the best they could at that time. This is an automatic change, caused by the fact that your own frequency has changed. The third change. Before a new choice, your hesitation decreases. A person who fears the regret of the past will always stop before a new choice. They think, will I regret this again? But a person who has moved beyond regret deeply understands that choice itself is a part of the soul's journey. So their hesitation decreases. They do not become a person who never makes mistakes. They become a person who does not fear mistakes. When these three changes arrive, you are no longer a person who lives carrying regret. You have become a person who has passed through regret. Everything in the past that once felt heavy has been completely rewritten into the most trustworthy signpost, the one that brought you here, now. Chapter 7. The moment the door named regret opens, here and now. Finally, let me tell you the thing I most want to share with you. Regret is the door itself. The door of the universe opens quietly, from the inside, only when you have completely let go of your old self. Regret is the most certain signal that this letting go is happening. Right now. Think about it. The fact that you can deeply regret something is proof that the you of that time truly cherished that something. A person never regrets an event they did not truly cherish. The depth of your regret is the very depth of love within the being that is you. A person who can regret is a person who can love. A person who can regret is a person who can change. A person who can regret is a person who can accurately receive, within themselves, the most precise signal of the universe. So, if you are now deeply regretting something, please do not feel ashamed. It means your soul is already standing before the door to a new dimension. Opening that door requires no special effort. Simply, stop blaming the self that is regretting. Stop judging the self of that time. Gently accept the self that is here, now, that alone, and the door slowly begins to open from the inside. On the other side of the door, a scenery spreads out that the you of the past could never have imagined. It is not a scenery without pain. It is a deep, quiet, and warm scenery, one that can be seen only by a person who has passed through pain. And one day, you will surely realize something. You will realize that the regret which once made you suffer so much is, before you knew it, no longer present within you. And in its place, a new self is standing there, a self that is embracing all of the experiences of the past. That is the quietest and the greatest gift from the universe, a gift received only by a person who has passed through the door named regret. Thank you, truly, for listening to my long talk all the way to this point today. Until today, you may have repeated, deep within your heart, a regret you could tell no one. On sleepless nights, in an empty room, your chest may have tightened again and again at scenes of the past that suddenly welled up. You have truly carried that weight so well, all the way to today. This is not a weakness of yours. Rather, it is precisely because you truly cherish the events of that time that you have been able to receive them so deeply and for so long. In the form of regret, you have done nothing wrong. You are a person who has loved deeply enough. And from here, there is no longer any need to judge the self of the past. The self of that time was certainly doing the best the self of that time could do. From the you of now, it may look like it was not enough, but that is simply, and only, the fact that you have risen that much higher. From now on, each time you feel regret, you will become able to receive it gently. You will be able to think, my soul is trying to move on to the next stage again. The accumulation of these small acts of acceptance will surely change your life. You will become free from the past. You will stop fearing the future. And you will become able to love, from the heart, the self that is here, now. From the moment you finish listening to this video today, the regret within you has already begun to take on a slightly different color. And that is enough. Your future opens up gently, deeply, and freely, far more than you imagine. There is no doubt about this, because you, who have arrived at the true meaning of regret, the most misunderstood of all emotions, have certainly walked all the way to a place where you no longer need to fear your own past. The universe is always on your side. Please, with peace in your heart, walk the path of your own soul. A final message. If today's words touched your heart even a little, I would be very happy if you would give this video a like. It becomes a small declaration to the universe, a declaration that you yourself have certainly received the truth of the emotion called regret. And on this channel, I will continue to deliver messages that gently realign your life from the perspective of the universe, the soul, and frequency. If you feel you would like to return again, please subscribe to the channel and let us deepen our learning together in the next video. Finally, if you would like to send a signal to the universe that you have truly received today's message, that one line will surely carve today's frequency onto the side of the light. May infinite light and deep resonance be with your soul. Then, let us meet again in the next video. Thank you, truly, for listening all the way to here.